Howdy, and welcome to another wonderful trash take. Today we're going to be talking about an MSNBC video on a car commercial for Tesla. So if y'all didn't pay attention, recently Donald Trump did an event at the White House where basically he brought up a bunch of Teslas, talked about buying a Tesla himself, was talking about the good part of Tesla, and MSNBC has decided to call this free advertising for Tesla, which they're not that far wrong. But don't forget, Biden also did this in the past. Biden had an EV summit where he came out in one of those electric Jeeps. So I mean, to me, I kind of view it as the left's done it, the right's done it. I genuinely don't care, to be honest. But they also have a little bit of grievance with Trump and his labeling of people actively destroying Teslas as terrorism. They seem to think that that's free speech and protesting when people are purposely targeting Tesla owners because of their association with Donald Trump, which is political violence, which is the definition of terrorism. Just for a quick show of what I mean, terrorism is the use or violence against a person or property in violation of criminal laws of the United States for purposes of intimidation, coercion, or ransom. Terrorists often use threats to create fear among the public. I don't know about y'all, but them saying if you don't get rid of your Teslas, we're going to burn to the ground, we're going to kill Elon Musk and kill all Tesla owners. But this seems like some straight up like terroristic ideology, politically motivated attacks against Tesla drivers because they support Elon Musk or supported Elon Musk in the past. Which to me is actually pretty comical, because I remember back in the day when I first heard about Tesla, thought it was a pretty cool concept, thought it was pretty fucking stupid though. Their electric cars were very niche. The only people that had them were raging liberals who wanted to spout how much they care about the environment and how much of a better person they are than you, which is why they bought a Tesla to begin with. So I thought this is the funniest shift in caricature of any modern ideology. Like, there is no articulable reason for why these people want to destroy Teslas besides Elon Musk bad. That's basically what it boils down to. Because honestly, if you think Teslas are bad, what about all the Volkswagens out on the road? Who were they supporting during World War II? Like, there's immediate issues if you actually use your brain here. So this is like the new litmus test to me. And don't get me wrong, I'm not just making fun of liberals here. There are some Republicans too that are, I'm going to buy a Tesla to support Elon Musk. Oh, I mean, it's your money, you could do that, but you said just retarded as the people. I'm going to sell a Tesla because I hate Elon Musk. I view that both as autism. I view that both as retardation. Personally, I won't ever buy a Tesla until I can fully drive home drunk in that bitch and not go to jail for drunk driving. There is no point in it. Otherwise, it's a bougie car that costs a little bit extra, and once the battery dies on it, the car's fucking worthless. So, me personal. But I'm going to watch this MSNBC clip and do more commentary over it. Also going to lower the volume of MSNBC, so when I speak, it's not me competing with them.
Throughout last year's presidential campaign, Donald Trump promised to fight for working-class Americans.
True.
His actions as president are not only doing the opposite for the working class, but he and his entourage seem focused on coming to...
All right, this is too retarded. His actions are hurting the working class guys. Look.
Finally, we have some good news on the economy and really the number one issue for many Americans, the cost of living. So we just learned that consumer prices in February increased by 2.8% year over year, 0.2% month over month. Both of these figures were a step in the right direction, and both were better than expected. So this is definitely very encouraging to see, because it's going to, I think, relieve some fears that inflation is perhaps re-accelerating, because this actually breaks a streak of 4 straight months where I think you could see it on the chart all the way.
Basically, it's just showing that inflation's consumer price index on inflation of goods has gone down considerably, or is going down. Normally for inflation, from what I've understood and from what I've researched, you want inflation around 2 to 4%. It's the Goldilocks zone. Society's constantly growing. There's more money being printed. You have to offset that somehow. It's about 2 to 4% is what you want. And so basically they're saying it was kind of going up toward the end of Biden's administration, and now it's going back down, which is pretty good, I'd say, considering the egg prices are finally stabilizing too. If you haven't seen the recent charts on that, I suggest you look into it. The reason egg prices got bad to begin with is because Joe Biden ordered the execution of 150 million chickens. I'm not going to argue this with anyone in the comments. If you can't see how killing 150 million chickens is going to not increase egg prices, you're retarded. Back to MSNBC. I just had to interrupt because I saw that today and I was like, this is already, we were 11 seconds in and already have issues with what she said.
To the aid of the richest man in the world, Elon Musk. In a social media post overnight, President Trump called the recent protest of Musk's Teslas illegal and promised he would personally buy one today. He even had multiple Teslas.
Let's see what that actually says. To Republicans, conservatives, and all great Americans, Elon Musk is putting in the line in order to keep our nation. He is doing a fantastic job, but the radical left lunatics, as they often do, are trying to illegally and collusively boycott Tesla, one of the world's great automakers, and Elon's baby, in order to attack and do harm to Elon and everything he stands for. They tried to do it to me in 2024 at the presidential ballot box, ballot box. But how did that work out? In any event, I'm going to buy a brand new Tesla tomorrow morning and show confidence of supporting Elon Musk, a truly great American, and why he should not be punished for putting his tremendous skills to work in order to make America great again. Yeah, I mean, yeah, that's a typical Trump tweet. Typical Trump tweet. He makes fun of people and he's saying what he's going to do. I mean, if Trump opens his mouth and it isn't an insult to someone, I'm honestly surprised. But he's the content president for that reason exactly. You never know what that man's going to say next. Apparently, there's a clip of him also calling some guy no longer Jewish today. He basically revoked a guy's Jew card. That's a different thing entirely.
Promised he would personally buy one today. He even had multiple Teslas delivered to the White House.
Yes, and like I said, Biden for the EV summit, I think he had an electric Jeep he pulled up in or something like that. Let me see. Biden drives an electric Jeep Wrangler around the White House southern lawn 3 years ago. Yeah, this was probably during the electrical vehicle summit where Elon Musk wasn't invited to it. He's showing everyone how great it is. I view it as the same thing Trump did.
For him to view and effectively gave Musk free advertising from 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue. Fox News anchor and Trump supporter Sean Hannity also vowing to purchase one.
Yeah, I think people saying I'm going to buy one to support Tesla,
Trump is insisting
kind of hopping on a bandwagon. I think most bandwagon hoppers are retarded. So
Musk for what he is supposedly sacrificing.
If you weren't already planning on buying a Tesla, I don't see a point in it.
And even our country's top diplomat, Secretary of State Marco Rubio, took a
Rubio's been popping off though.
Swipe at an ally, Poland, over the weekend in order to defend Musk and his company Starlink. The panel is back with me, Catherine Rampell, Eugene Daniels, and Tim O'Brien. Okay, so Trump has this private Tesla viewing at the White House, and then he comes out, I need to show it to you, with notes, as though he is a car salesman. Take a look at that. In the Sharpie, which is how you know.
I've never seen Trump take notes before. I have never seen Trump take notes before. He writes better than I expected. He almost writes like a woman.
It's real. Teslas can be purchased as low as $299 a month or $35K. All cars have self-driving, just needs to be turned on. I mean, what does it say that people are currently freaked out about?
I could see this here in case they ask about the prices of the car. Unless he just like threw this out there, that'd be kind of fucking wild.
401ks freaked out about whether or not they can go to the grocery store and purchase eggs, that they're talking about cutting Social Security, which, yes, I see you yelling at me on Blue Sky. It is not an entitlement. You paid into it. That is why you are entitled to it. And instead, what he's choosing to spend his time doing.
Why are you on Blue Sky? Are you a pedophile? Like, that's the only people I know on Blue Sky.
It's
not that I know
bizarre.
Any pedophiles. I watch pedophile hunters like
old
Alex
enough to
Rawson, and
remember when
that's
it was
all
a
that they
scandal-
catch now is Blue Sky
scandal
retards.
That Ivanka Trump seemed to endorse a can of Goya beans, and that Kellyanne Conway, decided to endorse, in turn, Ivanka Trump's clothing line. But that was so 2017, 2018. Now, apparently, we don't care about these ethical conflicts anymore. And look, the reason why they are...
It's only an ethical conflict when a Republican does it. If a Democrat does it, it's not an ethical conflict at all. You could say it's a conflict of interest because because Elon is currently basically a contractor for the government and Trump's advertising his cars. Yeah, but and that is a lot more grounds than I'd say with the Hunter Biden with the Jeep Electric on there. But at the same time, no one really cares about conflict of interest anymore when every side literally has some sort of conflict of interest. That was the whole point of USAID. They're finding a lot of these NGOs were basically run by like politician spouses that were just popped up out of the ground, out of nowhere, and they're receiving multi-million-dollar contracts, and then there's no guarantee they're doing anything. Like, it seems pretty fucking clear there's plenty of conflict of interest here.
Shilling for Elon Musk is obviously that not nobody, but sales have tanked for Teslas, and as has the stock price for Tesla, the company.
I think this was yesterday, 19 hours ago. Yeah. Stock market was pretty good today for Tesla. It's been down historically, though, in the past few days. The past month, it's gone down considerably. The past 6 months, it's still up overall. It went up pretty high because of the election, and I'll be quite honest, this company was hella overvalued, in my personal opinion, not financial advice, was hella overvalued. The fact that it hit over 400 was fucking crazy to me. I think it was around 200 would be a good buy-in, which is why I personally bought back in. So, like, I honestly thought it was just too high. Like, this seemed fucking batshit crazy. This is a total reactionary of the market from the election.
And it's no mystery why, right? There's a
Well, I mean, it's not a mystery to why it was going down. It was more of it was super overpriced, and now you have a boycott / leftist activism group where they're not only actively boycotting, they are firebombing Tesla dealerships, they are firebombing Cybertrucks, they are shooting at cars. Like, there is active violence going on toward Teslas. It's not just people with picket fences, guys. These are people committing crimes. These are people that are politically motivated crimes, which is essentially terrorism. Which is why I brought up that definition earlier for terrorism. This is politically motivated crimes against Elon Musk because of his support for Trump and his workings at Doge. Because Democrats have done everything they can to make him the bad guy, to make it rationalize of the ends justify the means. So if someone accidentally kills Elon Musk, guys, you're actually doing a good thing for the world. It's like killing Hitler, basically. That's the kind of arguments this is boiled down to. That's why this is happening.
Reason why
this is completely from the media.
Historically tried to stay away from divisive culture war issues because they are worried about alienating a certain segment of their customers, and sometimes they get it.
Yeah, but Elon Musk is also a super fucking autist who said, I don't really care how much money I have, I'm going to do what I want anyways. He's come out with that on interviews of what he bought Twitter for, because Twitter was doing absolutely shitty for like the first 3 years or something, and he's like, yeah, I genuinely don't care. I don't care if I lose money. Freedom of speech was more valuable than any money I could have ever lost because of how heavily it was being censored on the platform. So,
wrong.
And it was. The Twitter files completely showed. It was like a 99 to 1% split of any time a Democrat asked for a post to be taken down because they didn't like it, it was taken down immediately. No questions asked. Absolute censorship across the board on Twitter. I don't know how you could have considered it a decent platform, and that's the reason I didn't participate in Twitter for the longest time, is because one of my accounts got banned for saying something like Hillary Clinton killed Seth Rich, and I was like some generic ban of you violated our privacy policy or some shit that made no sense.
You saw the boycotts of Bud Light and Target and other places when Republicans were really mad about decisions that those companies had taken.
Yeah, Bud Light got fucking boycotted because everyone that drinks that's a raging redneck retard that does not want trans activism to do anything with their products. Target was getting boycotted because they were doing LGBTQ men's underwear for trans people that had anti-slip tuck some shit. I don't know. It was a bunch of like really niche clothing that it seems like they're sinking a lot of money into for a minute fraction of the population. It seems like a really bad business idea to go all out on some LGBTQ stuff for trans people when there's such a small percent population, or a small percentage of the population. It seems like a really bad business model to me. Really bad business model. Sure, you'll capture the market, but there is no market for it. The fuck?
Not only does Elon Musk, not avoid the culture wars, he is a, happy culture warrior.
Yes.
And of course, he is helping dismantle the federal government.
He's helping dismantle the retardation at the federal government. Because the government is too large as it is. There's like 1 in every 4 Americans works for the fucking government, apparently. Because of how many different organizations and different departments of bullshit there are that basically people have been sitting on their ass all day long, collecting paychecks on taxpayer dime and doing jack shit for it. 100%. Yeah. That's not a bad thing to dismantle a worthless job where you don't really need this many people here, and they just have this many people here because they're hiring and they were given more funds because the government decided to increase their funding to maybe help productivity, and it didn't help productivity at all. You just hired more people on to do random bullshit. Like, maybe some of these jobs, and like I've seen with Doge, they fucked up with the park rangers. They fired a bunch of park rangers, or apparently put them out to be fired, and they got fired, but then they were rehired on because apparently, like I said, with the Doge, or like I've been trying to say with the Department of Government Efficiency, Elon Musk has said we will be as effective and transparent as we can, and he is listening to people when they push back. And as long as it's reasonable, they will undo it. So if some serious funding gets cut for something, they're completely saying, yeah, we'll completely undo it. And right now, people are getting fucking pissed about Medicaid and Medicare when you had 10 years ago, Nancy Pelosi was saying there's so much government corruption here that this needs to be looked at, and never anything was done with it. Now Elon Musk is doing it, and she's screaming they're going to cut everyone's Medicare. No, they're not. They're going through and finding that the government has been paying bills for Medicare for people that have been dead, that haven't received medical treatment for years. Like, these people are still, these bills are still coming in. The government's just slapping it, all right, here you go on it. They're investigating that shit to see if these people are actually even alive and still need this medical care. Like, the fuck? It shouldn't be that hard to understand there's going to be corruption in the government when they have retards that just sign off on anything that comes across their desk. There was something like fucking, there was like a couple $1 million worth of loans were given to like 11-year-olds approved by the government. Like, there's like so much corruption here that no one's doing their fucking job on a governmental level that this shit needs to be looked at. every penny the government wastes is going to hurt you in your taxes some way, shape, or form. Now, I don't want them to give the $5,000 check to everybody. That shit's stupid. That's a Walmart American idea, and it is a Walmart America that voted for him, to be fair. I personally don't think that's going to help anyone in the long term, especially when they had such an issue with the COVID scam checks, and they're still saying there's issue with COVID scams, which I think today they just voted to extend the statute of limitations on COVID scammers so they can be held accountable for their actions. And that's what I want to make sure we don't immediately hop back into. We just wrote everyone a bunch of checks for COVID, found massive scam. Now let's write everyone a bunch of checks for Doge. I'm sure there won't be any fucking scams. Are you serious?
Plenty of reasons why customers would boycott them, and now Trump is trying to prop up his friend's company.
I just got to say, it feels...
Propping up his friend's company is a little harsh when the media has done their best job to equate Elon Musk to Donald Trump, and then now telling you to boycott all of Elon Musk stuff is to boycott Donald Trump. Which, if you want to boycott it, that is fine. You are participating in political violence when you start encouraging others to go burn down Tesla dealerships. When you start telling people, or when you start encouraging people to go vandalize Teslas. That is where it's not fine. That's illegal. Go peacefully protest with all your fucking signs to show everyone you're some rich retard that can afford to take off every single day to go outside of a Tesla dealership and talk about how you sold all your Teslas to show Donald Trump and Elon Musk who's boss. Please go show everyone you're a retarded liberal that really has no values. That is A-okay any day of the week. Go do it. When you start encouraging people to show up and posting locations of Teslas that need to be burned, which there are subreddits that are like, hey guys, look at this Tesla. Be ashamed if its tires got slashed. Yeah, that's political violence. 100%, get him the fuck out of here.
Like the presidency was already sort of the end game of influencer culture gone too far. But the fact that you have the president of the United States,
I'd say so. That's why Kamala failed miserably.
The White House pretending as though it is a backdrop or a prop, a card.
It was an influencer election, and I think this is going to be the last that we've seen of it. And her not going on the Joe Rogan podcast absolutely demolished her. That was her one real chance. And then she tried to say Joe Rogan said no. Joe Rogan didn't want her on there, or Joe Rogan wasn't willing to compromise. And it was something like he had to fly out to there to where she was and talk to her for like 30 minutes. That's what it was. That's what they want to do for an interview. And then they wanted complete rights to edit the entire interview before it was posted. And Joe Rogan's like, no, 3 hours, my location, everyone does it. Same grounds Trump did it. Make it fair. No.
Dealership is... It is more than I could possibly imagine. So there's that piece of it, and I'm going to let you talk about that. But then you also overnight have this post claiming that protests at Tesla dealerships are illegal. He said today he would label violence against dealerships domestic terrorism. Now,
protests aren't illegal. Violence is. You literally just said protests are illegal, and then you just corrected yourself to say the violence is now terrorism. Protests aren't illegal. Violence is. You literally just said it, and you're conflating the two like protesting is the same thing as committing violence. They aren't. You can peacefully protest all day long. Don't get them fucking mixed.
I am judicious in how I play this sound, but I think you need to hear it from him.
Mr. President talks about some of the violence that's been going on around the country at dealerships. Some say they should be labeled domestic terrorists.
I will do that. I'll do it. I'm going to stop it.
Why does Elon still wear the dark Elon shit? Like, there's that one fucking AI meme of him wearing the Doge necklace, and he's been wearing that shit for like 2 weeks now.
We catch anybody doing it because they're harming a great American company. Let me tell you, you do it to Tesla and you do it to...
Okay, them doing a cut makes me concerned because he's in the middle of a speech right now, and even if he's mumbling and stuttering, they should keep the cut in so you can understand with the full context.
Any company, we're going to catch you, and you're going to go through hell.
So just to...
Okay, he basically just said if you protest America, you're going to get fucking kicked out, which I guess is pretty on par. They're removing that guy from Colombia that was part of some Hamas group that like was on campus building Rust base to occupy the campus for Palestinian rights or some shit like that, and then basically resulted in a bunch of riots breaking out on campus, and their slogans like "Death to Western Culture" or some shit. I think he's getting deported from what I saw, which I'm on. I'll be quite honest. I don't really think you should be able to go to a country on a student visa and then basically supporting terrorism and then want other people fucking removed for it and then not expect to be removed for it. You go to any other country in the world, like Russia, and then I know Russia doesn't have free speech, but look at Johnny Somalia in fucking Japan. He went there, he disrespected a statue, motherfucker got 10 years in jail for it. 100% agree with it. Coming to America and opening an organization that's an actively supportive, a labeled terrorist organization by the United States government that wants death to Western culture and then resulting in riots on campus with kids getting injured and politically intimidating the Jewish population on campus. Yeah, I'd 100% expect you to get your ass removed. You just made an organization that turned violent around violence to begin with. Like, the fuck? You fucked around. Now you're finding out.
To be clear, you protest a private company. You are labeled by this administration a domestic terrorist. You show up at the U.S. Capitol on January 6th.
No. If you commit violent acts, that is not the same as protesting. See? She's conflating two things that are completely different. She is saying protesting is the same as committing a violent act. That is not true. You can peacefully protest, which January 6th wasn't that peaceful. Which, I'll be honest about my January 6th take, and I know some people probably won't like this. I think the people that showed up there were probably retarded. That looked like a honeypot from a mile away. I thought about going to it, and I realized this would be pretty fucking stupid because I'll probably be thrown in jail for it. Was 100% correct. Because if you even got led into the Capitol by police, you were charged with like some pseudo trespassing. That's about it, but you went to jail for like 4 fucking years for it. There are people that were violent at those protests. Throw them in jail. I'm A-okay with that. The people that were allowed to walk in, walked around, did nothing and left, and then were found 4 years later and they got SEAL Team 6 raided. No, what the fuck? That's fucking stupid. But the issue is when they started actually doing these trials on it, was it Liz Cheney and a bunch of other retards were like deleting evidence that were showing that were people being let in by the police to get people charged with crimes. Like, that kind of shit is when you muddy the waters. And so Trump did a blanket pardon on everyone. I don't agree with it, but I understand why he did it. He did a blanket pardon on everyone for the January 6th protests to get them out of there because of how fucked up the treatment was. Their rights basically got violated from the government withholding evidence that would have basically shown they were allowed to walk in, that at no point did anyone try to stop them, that the doors were open, that the police were there, shaking people's hands, giving them fist bumps. They walked in, walked out, they didn't do anything. No jail. 100% think that's totally fine. They were there peacefully protesting a government area, which is open to the public. Now, if there's specific rules, the riot act's read, and they're told to get the fuck out or you'll be thrown in jail, and you're still there, good fucking luck, buddy. As far as I know, riot act wasn't read on that day, so I don't really care. People that did illegal crimes, people that committed violence on that day, jail. It's as simple as that. You are allowed to peacefully protest as long as no violence occurs, or as long as you aren't doing violence. Which I know people are probably going to be like, well, you just said that guy who was there, he may not have done anything, but he was there and he should be deported. Yeah, he's not an American citizen. He's openly supporting a terrorist group, and his political protest turned violent.
With the intent to overturn a fair and free election, and you get a pardon.
And you commit acts of violence and threaten federal legislators, and you get a pass. But if you insult Donald Trump's friends, or you insult the people who bankroll his existence, you'll get put in handcuffs. And
yeah, I mean, every Democrat's been bankrolled by George Soros, fucking Mark Zuckerberg, and Bill Gates for years. What the fuck's the point in that?
You know, it's always amazing to me how Donald Trump, when he goes off on these rants, sounds, even in that clip, like a guy in a leather chair in Queens calling into a radio show and ranting, "It's Don from Queens, and you need to go down to the Tesla right now and buy one." He does it all the time.
No idea. I don't watch. I don't listen to radio.
Of it and
I am basically probably one of the hardest individuals to propagandize because my social media is basically me shitposting on politicians on Twitter and like watching YouTube videos, but I'm like watching pedo catchers, I'm watching game videos. Like, I don't watch mini politics. I don't see advertisements for games. I have ad block on everything. I literally don't know when games are coming out because I don't watch TV. I don't see this shit. I literally go to YouTube, watch a trailer, and that's how I know when a game's coming out. And that's why I make my judgments based on the trailers. Which now all the trailers are rendered in 3D rendering, not actual game footage, and like 90% of the shit you see in a trailer is not going to be there. Like, look at fucking Avowed. The original trailer was basically like fucking in the minds of Mordor, fucking fighting a giant Balrog, the fucking giant demon fucking thing from Lord of the Rings. Holy shit, that looked cool as shit for that first trailer. Now it's like some blue-haired green people that look like a fucking they, them, and if you even get it close to raw, or if you even suggest that they have a gender, they'd absolutely kill you for it. Like, some crazy ass shit going on.
This is deeply corrupt. You have someone in the Oval Office who has always been a human shingle throughout his own business career. He sold mattresses, ties, water, everything with his name on it. He and his family are investors in cryptocurrencies. He owns a stake in a cryptocurrency exchange, and he's using the powers of the federal government to bring crypto inside as a federally recognized asset and
That's a little better as a conflict of interest, I'd say. He's openly encouraging people and the government to invest in crypto, while he himself has personal investments in crypto. That's a little bit better than everything else he said. Everything else he said, I'm not paying any grievance to. It was pretty fucking stupid. Yeah, Trump's a businessman. He sold everything that he fucking could slap his name on and retards would buy. Is it his fault that retards are buying this shit? You like have literally fucking VTubers that no one's ever seen and people buy action figures with fat fucking titties. I don't know. I think it's just consumers are retarded here.
And a backup currency in the Treasury Department, which immediately affects the price of his own holdings.
Crypto actually has gone down since Trump announced the fucking investments, though. Like, that's the argument gets actually dispelled when you look at the price of crypto. Once the government said they were going to start buying crypto, it fell. It's at like 82K right now. It went from 100K to 80K. How's that helping Trump?
And now he has someone in helping him remake the federal government, Elon Musk, whose entire financial well-being rests on the effervescent stock price of Tesla. It's his currency for doing deals. It's his currency for having political influence, and it's under pressure not only because he's engaging in clown rodeos for Donald Trump, but it's also because the fundamentals of Tesla as a company are strained right now, in part because of the action Trump's own administration had taken towards green initiatives. They are.
Elon Musk's company is extremely overvalued still. At $200, what's their fucking market cap? $777 billion, even at $200 a share. Believe me, I really don't think he cares if this goes up or down much. It just turns him from like a quintillionaire to a billionaire when it goes from $200 to $400 a share. Like, not that bad.
They are locked at the hip financially and politically, and they're trading on it at the expense of the American public.
Well, so do we no longer care about the environment now that Donald Trump is saying let's support Tesla, the company that's paved the way for the green movement with their electric cars? Is that the argument? We're really going to call green energy a scam now because Donald Trump's all in with Elon Musk doing it? Because Donald Trump supports Elon Musk and is telling people to support Elon Musk? Was it not Joe Biden that held a summit that didn't include Tesla? Tesla's basically the standard for every fucking electric car on the market. They're the ones that build the supercharging stations. Cars build adapters so you can connect your electric shit mobile into their electric shit providers. Like, I genuinely don't understand the cognitive dissonance here to where, oh, green stuff is bad because now Elon Musk and Donald Trump are doing it. Do you care about the environment or don't you? Make up your fucking mind. If you're using it as a political token to show how good liberal you are, and now that Elon Musk's a bad person and you don't support it, that's fine. But to say it's because you're fighting fascism's fucking stupid. If you don't support Trump and you don't support Elon Musk, that's A-okay. Don't buy the product. Be going out to protest with signs, make you look retarded. It's okay though. I saw the Channel 5 news. There were some funny ass signs out there. Going and firebombing a Tesla factory or going and firebombing a Tesla dealership and shooting at people in Cybertrucks because you disagree with them, you're going to be charged with fucking terrorism. I don't see how this isn't that hard. I don't see how this isn't that hard to understand. It's politically motivated violence. That's fucking terrorism. I'm going to pull this up again just so you can see the definition for the first time if you disagree with it being terrorism after we've watched that entire video. I'm pulling up again just so you can see the definition of terrorism if you disagree, even after we just watched that entire video. Terrorism is the use of force or violence against person or property in violation of criminal laws of the United States for the purpose of intimidation, coercion, or ransom. I would say political violence falls under intimidation. I would 100% say this is political violence. This is intimidation against a politician or politician's movement, which is Donald Trump supporting Tesla, and the only reason you're doing it is because of that. Terrorism. I would call this terrorism. Now, since Trump's promised to charge these people with terrorism, I'm going to be curious to see if the FBI is starting to intervene because they caught some trans retard yesterday that apparently firebombed another Cybertruck. And there's been like 4 of them that have been firebombed in fucking Seattle. But I mean, it's Seattle. I think the most recent one was Colorado where they found the guy responsible for it. So, like, well, until these people get charged with terrorism, I won't believe it, basically is what I'm saying. Because, yeah, it seems pretty clear to me that people are only doing this because of all the political violence that has been stirred up on Reddit and on social media by calling Elon Musk a Nazi fascist bad guy. When it seems like you're just a sheep hopping on a bandwagon. But like I said, the conservative don't get it twisted. I think the conservatives are doing it too, with saying I'm going to buy a Tesla now because Trump's saying they're so good. I still think Teslas are stupid until I can fully drive home drunk. That's been my number one metric for me wanting to buy a Tesla. Because I saw them in college and I thought, damn, these things are really cool. Then I looked into them, and the practicality is fucking shit. At least they've expanded the network map to where you can actually charge your Tesla. So if you want to go on a road trip, you actually be able to charge them from state to state, basically. But back in the day, back when I was in college, I was like, you got to be a fucking retard to buy these. And I realized everyone that drove one was the biggest liberal that we need to save the environment. Elon Musk is the best man ever. Like, they were just as retarded as what the people who currently are doing them with, or people that are currently trying to buy them are. Which we need to support Elon Musk. We need to buy Teslas, which I can get is you hopping on bandwagons either way or trying to virtue signal either way. Anyone can virtue signal. That's the glory of it. It's just for some reason when liberals do it, they expect you to 100% recognize it, but when you do it, they can completely dismiss you, which is autistic. A lot of people do that nowadays. A lot of virtue signal going on. Just fucking have a conversation with someone. Sit down with your fellow man. Ask them about who they are. Talk to them to see where they're coming from. I think a lot of people are personally captured in ideological echo chambers, and I'm at the point to where I can kind of see a light to pull them out. And that's not the point of these videos. This is me just basically shitting on the internet, just pissing in the wind, if you will. I think this is funny shit that's happening around the world where you have full-grown adults who have been alive for 3 times my age but are fucking, like, had the mentality of a child, which just absolutely pisses me off. Have you squandered your time in this world and you're still this fucking stupid? Considering to buy a Tesla because Elon Musk and Trump are the good guys right now, I still view as stupid, just as I viewed it in the past as, oh, I'm going to buy a Tesla because it's the really cool, hip thing to do to show I care about the environment. It's stupid. Elon Musk, let me be able to drive this shit drunk. That's the whole point of this video. I want to be able to drunk drive, Elon. Let your Tesla get me home drunk drive so I can get pulled over by the cop, fail a sobriety test, and say, it's a Tesla, bitch, it drives itself. Let me drive drunk, motherfucker. So that's all I want. But yeah, that's the end of this video. Holy shit. I'm white as fuck. But yeah, if you liked the video, feel free to like it, comment down below, or subscribe to my channel. I do a lot of like random bullshit like this. Like I said, I'm kind of just like pissing in the wind. I like to make these videos for fun. I'm on the internet a lot, and I see a lot of retardation, and at this point, I'm tired of no one really pointing it out. I say no one pointing it out. I honestly watch Asmongold a lot because I feel like he's a very good method of pointing out when people use retarded politics and completely ignore other sides of the opinion or completely dismiss people. And I feel like I've been like scratching at my face like, how are people this stupid? And I'm realizing it's not people that are this stupid. It's the media that has a stranglehold all over social media and the news that are run by asinine morons who will literally say or do something completely fucking stupid and not really ever have to deal with the consequences of their action or their words. And now I see clips of Asmongold absolutely roasting him like, yeah, you're openly supporting a terrorist who wants to destroy America. And I feel like it's fine, like, holy shit, I'm not crazy is what I'm getting from when I watch Asmongold. So I'll take it. I ain't nearly as crazy as I thought, boys. There's a lot of common sense in this world. Trying to find it among the bullshit's really hard. So I wish everyone the best luck in doing so. Thank you guys very much for tuning in. I'll see you in the next video. Until then, later.